Hey Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps with Boxing Social in association with Forged Irish Stout and Empire Fight Store, and I'm joined now with the one and only Sunny Edwards. Sunny,
shout out Empire.
Hey,
Shout out Empire.
there it is. Shout out to Empire. It's good to see you here. Nice to speak with you and give us all time, actually, so we appreciate that very much. Longest face-off we had there. Pretty intense. You're intense, you know.
You think? No. So
you are very intense. I would never want to be on your bad side. I'll tell you that.
I hear that a lot. I don't know why. I'm an angel deep down. No, it is. I'm just quite quick-witted. Like I can choose it to be funny. I can choose it to be.
But that could be scary at the same time. You realize that, right? Because
because people's egos are more fragile than their faces. So people would rather get hit than they will something bad say about them and go around. So I guess I walk in the room and people usually step in eggshells. But I don't know if people have no bad towards me, they'll never have no reason to. But yeah, it was a bit of an intense face-off. When Eddie said look to the front, I had no problem with looking straight to the front, but I'm just not going to be the first one to do it. And every time we was on a face-off, Eddie said look to the front. He looked to the front. When we was doing it in the desert, they said look to the front. He looked to the front. So I don't know why today he didn't want to be the first one to look, but I was just letting him know that we will be here all day. I've made weight. You know, do you understand? We're probably going to be weighing on these exact table, chairs and stage tomorrow.
Yeah.
Can you say the same, Bam? Are you going to be over if we both stand here for the whole night?
You said you saw some stuff. Like, you saw him apparently walking around in his sweatsuit.
Oh, no, he's been training. Eli Sekback, trying to suck him off, was putting videos of him looking really quite, like, lethargic and drained and touching. It's like he's exhausted making this weight. And me, I'm doing it well within myself. I landed in America 2 weeks out of my fight. And I had like 2.5 kilos to lose from then. I've done it so properly. I've left no stone unturned. I've been doing all my training, all my sparring, all my eating, all my dieting. For the first time ever, I've had, you know, someone inside my house that loves and supports me and is making sure, babe, you gotta eat this, you gotta eat this, supplement. I've never had that before. Like normally it's just me throwing away meal preps when I'm not eating none of them on the week and getting takeaways. Like that's usually me in camp. I'll be real. Like when it comes to food, it's always been like a bad relationship with me. But this time, everything's been done properly. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the process. I've enjoyed making someone that's proud of me proud as well doing it. So yeah, it's been really, really easy. We're
gonna circle back to that one, to your missus. Not about your missus, but there's something that obviously ties in. I think you probably know what that is. But let's talk about what Bam said when we did speak with him. He says that, and obviously I have to be subjective here, so if you're successful in the night, if he's successful in the night. I asked him if you're successful in the night, there's obviously talks about you wanting to move back up to 115.
Well, he said this was his last fight at this weight.
Yeah, so he doesn't plan to unify at all. What do you make of that? Like,
I think it means one, he's struggling for the weight, but two as well, he probably thinks that Martinez won't fight him and Delicayan's not really an interesting fight, and there's probably not that other many of fighters. I think he only moved down one to get the second weight world title. They didn't want this fight. I promise you, the reason why I could confidently say what Eddie said when he's the man in between us, because they had to no, this is the option, this is the fight. You want this purse? This is the fight. And they had to kind of hardball him a little bit to get this fight. I know that because now I'm in the house. I'm a cat amongst the pigeons now. Before I was an outsider with all the other promoters, Frank Warren, etc. But now I'm very much in, so I'm getting all the gossip and why the fight's not happening. Eddie, why is the fight not signed yet? I'm ready. So.
But yeah, you mentioned that. You mentioned about how difficult it was, because you said that one of the things that made you, I guess, lose a bit of respect for him was that he didn't stick to his word when he was initially saying that he would go over to the UK and fight you. I
think that was Robert Garcia though. Robert Garcia hadn't watched me box yet and was going, I think they looked at me as the easiest champion, because Robert Garcia had never seen me fight before. I know this because I know who showed him my first fight footage, and then the whole attitude changed. You know, they was like, oh yeah, I'm going to let my brother be the super flyweight champ. I want to go down. He wanted to become a 2-weight world champion, but he said, and I quote, I want to go down to 112, I'm going to go to the UK, and I'm going to beat Sunny Edwards. None of those things happened. Even now we're fighting, it won in the UK because it changed. Once they realised, oh, hold on, actually, he's a bit of a threat, they didn't want to fight no more. They wanted to go back up. They was looking at, he's fought Quadras, hasn't he? Out of Estrada and Quadras, the one he hadn't fought is the one that they wanted to go up and fight. Do you understand? And they was basically told, no, the zone don't want that fight. They want you versus Sonny Edwards. That's it. That's what we're doing. We need a 16-foot ring, and we need it to be in America, and we need it to be in a place of poor air quality. Like, they were trying to do everything. Like, they weren't trying to. But I didn't care. That's what was blowing their mind. Is I was like, yep, that's fine. The only thing was, the last thing was the 20-foot ring. I was like, 16-foot ring. I was like, Eddie, let's stop taking the piss. Does he want to pick the colour of my shoelaces and that out next to one? Let's be respectful about this. 20-foot ring in the middle, not a 24 running marathon, 400-meter track. No, I want fair on that. That's all fair. Get a 20-foot ring. That's it. Not 24, 20. He was asking for 16, and that, but at one point that was making the fight not happen until they went, oh, okay, we'll do it. Because they were getting pressure internally. And what was they looking like to the promoter? When I'm saying, I don't care about where it is, I don't care about when it is, I'm ready to go. I don't care who it is. It could have been Bam, it could have been Martinez, it could have even been the world champion at Superfly. I was ready for a big fight. It didn't matter who. I weren't doing these mandatories and easy voluntaries, just rinsing out a good contract. I'm getting paid handsomely no matter who I fight. But I said, any of those big names, all group them together and I'll fight them anywhere. The only thing I said, if I'm fighting in America, I want NBA tickets. That's it. And I got them.
Did you get them?
I got them. I got them, and they were trying to get out of it. But I know why, because usually Eddie rings up and gets the freebie, but because they was looking at that venue before the fight, and then they changed to this one, or didn't change to this one, they went with the rivals. They went, no free tickets for you. So it was either lump up thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands, or make a promise in the future, and I don't know which one happened, but I just know I got my tickets.
Yeah, as long as you got your tickets. Let's see, another thing I wanted to mention, which was about circling back to your misses. Claressa Shields obviously said, and this is both when you were both single, obviously. So let's make that very clear. No one's promoting anybody stepping out on a date on their partners here. But when she was single and you were still single, she said that if you beat Bam...
No, I know. How it started was, at first, she put a tweet out saying, Bam's going to beat Sonny. And all I did was maybe a bit of tongue-in-cheek. If you don't, do I get to take you out? And then she laughed and went, you ain't got no chance. To which I replied, no chance of taking you out or no chance of beating Bam? You know what I mean? Because I already know I got more than a chance of beating Bam. And then it went quiet, and then a month later she started saying, well, if he beats him, I'll go after him. So I was like, cool. But then, what took the bet off the table for me, before I met my partner now, before I'd met her, but before I'd got with my partner now, what took the bet off the table was me. She got back with her ex, I think. I think she got back with her partner, so I'm not a homewrecker, so then that was dead in the water then. And then, like, obviously I found love, so I'm all loved up now. So
we could tell you're glowing a bit here when you're talking about it.
If there was to be any date, I'd have to get permission off my...
Well, maybe you guys can double date.
Maybe.
That's an alternative.
That'd be an alternative. That'd be an alternative.
Why not? I mean, it started fun and friendly, and keep it friendly.
Or maybe we could just do a bit of content now, do you know what I mean? Like, before it was like a serious, like, no, I'm flying you out. But now it's like, we could just do like a little... a
post-fight message could be something along them lines. Maybe like a double date or something.
Yeah, maybe a double date. But
she's always in the UK, you know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, she's always out there because she goes out and supports the a lot of the fights going on out there.
Okay, well, I think the UK is probably the best place for her in boxing. I feel like she makes much bigger events over there than she does in the US, so she should probably stay over there more. I feel like she's recognised as a great fighter, and
Why do you think she gets so much hate?
Because she tells you how good she is, and people don't like it. Like, kind of similar to me, I understand it. Like, if you're constantly telling people how good you are, even if you are that good, it rubs up people the wrong way.
It does, doesn't it? But you don't ever hear. Let's just use this like as an example. You never actually hear like Michael Jordan go, I'm one of the best. No, I'm one of the great. You are the best. Like, you have to really truly believe it to be the best. So I feel like a lot of the most famous athletes, the best athletes in the entire world, have to have maybe just a tad bit of that arrogance in that sense.
And even in boxing, you've got to have that sort of narcissistic, borderline delusional level of confidence in your ability. Because I'll be real, when you're actually in the ring, doubt is no good in there. when you're having that conversation with your head, if it's a negative one, oh, actually, maybe I'm not as good as people say, or that, you can have a hard round, the other person can be a good fighter, but if you genuinely believe in yourself, you'll constantly bring that out of yourself. So there's no surprise to me that she's one of the best fighters in the world, because her confidence is that up that she will tell everyone in the world, and she'll challenge anyone's opinion on her. And at the end of the day, what she's done and how easy she's made what she's done, like it's actually kind of unfair how good she is.
Yeah.
Like, for me, it's like, it's kind of unfair. Like, you need to start putting 2 women in with her or something. Like, no, serious. Like, she's won every single belt at different weights over and over and over again against everyone that she can possibly fight at them weights. And even like Savannah, who we had a lot of faith in, like, let's be real, she didn't remotely get close to her. Like, it's like it wasn't a fair fight. Like, Claressa is that good. It's mind-blowing.
Respect to the GOAT.
I genuinely think she's the best female fighter ever.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely. But she's, like, obviously, you got to remember the female fighters before usually didn't really have like the amateur experience to go into the Olympics, traveling around the world, all the proper camps. Like, they usually started quite late in pro gyms and had like a go, and then yet someone world titles. But like Claressa is generally, and now like more fighters like her had like the childhood boxing, Olympics. Like, she was 17 when she won Olympic gold. Like, I was a volunteer at that Olympics that she won gold, and like we're like the same age. You know what I mean? I'm maybe a year younger than her. Like, walking out like people like Errol Spence and stuff like that. Like, I was a volunteer at those when she's winning gold. So she has done like the apprenticeship, and she's turned to pros and punched everyone's head in. You know what I mean? So obviously there's going to be some hate. I don't want to take it that way either. I feel like, you know, a very confident black female rubs up certain demographics the wrong way as well. Unfortunately, I don't want to make it all about that, but I do see it like that. Maybe if she was from another creed or colour, that people might have a different from certain people. But then there'll be other people that probably was frustrated. That's just life. That's just human. I don't want to make too much comment on that, but yeah, she is great, probably the best ever. But unfortunately, I don't think the date's going to happen because my missus is very fiery. So I genuinely think, like, out of all the women in the world, like, if it was over me, she would have a fair fight on her hand. Like, obviously Latina, so she's not, like, she ain't no easy pushover, trust me.
Right. Lastly, before I let you go, which, by the way, thank you for taking the time for everyone today. Some news broke today that Chris Eubank Jr. is no longer in negotiations with Conor Benn. What did you make of that fight to begin with, and what do you think? They're saying it was over money. Just what are your thoughts on that? That fight just not.
I'm not sure. Going to happen. I'm not sure. I think it probably more happened because they can't have it in the UK. I think that's a big sort of blocking stone, unless they just do that fight on a different commission or something, not have no undercard, because people on the undercard will be affected. Even the promoter of it will be affected, because like, if the British board are digging their heels in, then it's hard. I feel like, you know, people think that because I had a couple of pictures with Conor that I must be like, oh, sorry Conor for putting tweets out. No. My opinions then still stand. I do believe he did it. I do believe that he should have had some time out. But what I'm saying is that he's had every bit of punishment that Canelo had, or Martinez had. Well, Oscar Valdez, he failed a drugs test and got improved to a WBC clean boxing ambassador, whatever that means. Like, I managed to fight and then rob someone in the ring 2 months later, or 3 weeks later, whatever it was. So he's had it, you know, losing out on massive paydays, had his name dragged, didn't fight for like 10, 12, 14 months, whatever it was. Okay, they couldn't ban him for loopholes and whatever, but like, eventually, like, I just want to see fights, I want to see events. Chris Eubank versus Conor Benn sells out an arena, probably sells out
100%.
a stadium now, probably sells out Wembley, that fight. Everyone wants to see it. And I'm pro boxing, and okay, even though people can say, oh, that's bad for boxing, whatever. We know all of these fighters that pass drugs tests, they're not clean anyway. So, like, it is what it is. The fans don't really care. Really, the promoters don't really care. Really, the governing bodies don't really care. Really, no one really cares about what happens to us and who we get in the ring with. Trust me, the interviewers don't care. No one does. We care about events, and we care about so why should boxers are not fighting because of this or whatever? At the end of the day, it's not tiddlywinks. We're going in there and fighting. There's probably about 20%, if not more, of all your legends, of all the greatest fighters ever, of all the current fighters now that are dirty, stinking little drug cheese. So what are we gonna do? Just pause it, boxing for every single time? I don't know. Like, so many people fail. I've never failed. I've done about 40, 50 tests. They've tested me about 4 or 5 times for this camp, VARD and UCAD. So I've never failed nothing. And I'm very clean, I can assure you. Like, you just got to look at my body to know that. I've barely gone through puberty. You know what I mean? Let alone be all like juiced up and like. So, I don't know, but the way I just see it is they've had some time out in the ring. They can't ban him. Let the man fight. I don't know. And I think he's going to lose against Chris Eubank Jr. anyway, quite convincingly. I think he's going to get probably knocked out. So, probably even more reason I want to see the fight. Like, unfortunately, that's what I think. But he's all right. His team, people, and his family are all right. I'm good friends with his brother Harley. So, like, I can't be judge, God, and executioner and everything. Like, it's not up to me. But I just want to see events happen. And if it's in the UK, it will be probably the biggest sporting event of the year. So, yeah. It is what it is.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. We're definitely hearing that it might end up being Conor Benn and Devin Haney in the summer. So, either way, I think Conor's set up in a good position. So I wouldn't say he's missing out too much. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. All the best to you on the night, and may the best man win.
Oh, thank you for your time.
All right, thank you.